Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to your Akim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson for In the News, through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, on this Salaki, on this Saturday night at 9:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. October the 1st, 2022. Salaki is slipping the tongue, but it's all good though. And this is a news article. I say it was about yesterday, from the Jerusalem Post, and this is recent news, published by Reuters, by Reuters, then published on September 30th, 2022. And a highlight of this news article, and it reads from the Jerusalem Post: Norway to receive help from UK, Germany, and France to boost security, Prime Minister says. Right, and this goes, I did a sit-down lesson on it. I said day before yesterday, and it goes into the, when it first all started, that Norway deployed military troops to guard the area of the pipeline, especially what happened recently, with the situation with the pipeline and everything that, United States was involved in it, of the Russian pipeline and stuff like that, so I'm going to bring it out again. Norway to receive help from UK, Germany, and France to boost security, the Prime Minister says. And it says Norway will receive assistance from Great Britain, Germany, and France to boost offshore security following the destruction of the Nord Stream pipelines, Prime Minister Jonas Story said on Friday. It says Norway, now Europe's largest gas supplier and a leading global oil supplier, has over 90 oil and gas fields, most of which are connected to a natural gas pipeline stretching 9,000 kilometers of 5,590 miles. So yeah. So as I mentioned before, with the current situation with the Russian United States, that the United States destroyed the pipeline from Russia. Now you got Norway as the leading gas oil production, as I was reading through the news article. And it says most connected to natural gas pipelines stretching 9,000 kilometers and 5,590 miles. Now they are the leading gas oil supplier now, after Russia's pipeline been destroyed by the United States, So that brings more attentions right there. Now you got Norway getting help and assistance from UK, Germany, and France. Extra security, which potentially probably military security as well too. Just in case their pipeline won't get destroyed by potential adversaries, So bring out the scripture for that. I guess you might as well, you can add on to the women's awards with that as well too. Matter of fact, I'm bring out Mark. This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7. And when ye should hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. Right, because we've seen huge events taking place on this planet Earth. Hey, with that pipeline stuff, that's huge news, because you got that increase the United States and Russia tensions even more. Now you got Norway as the leading oil production in Europe right now, because you got France, Great Britain, and Germany are protecting Norway in their gas pipeline, just in case their gas pipeline might get destroyed by an unknown identifying potential threat or an adversary, potentially, And if so, that can start a war between that. And it could be sometimes a war of oil as well too, you know. So yeah, hey, these wars are rumors of wars, nations rising up against nations, kingdom against kingdoms. Hey, it can be, like I mentioned before, it can be war of oil, war of money, war of political agenda. I just want to add that on there, I'm not trying to be into politics and nothing like that, but I'm just adding that on there, many ways of it just not just gonna be all out just straight wars, but it can be in many different categories, with the proxy wars, clash wars, economic wars, wars over oil, and political things and many other things. Now this is a nations trying to protect their gas and oil productions. Because as I mentioned before, after happened a couple of days ago with the pipeline, or what the United States did, you know, if that story is 100% true, you know, and United States boasting about it potentially, according to the reports, if that's 100% true, and Russia look at the United States as a target, hey, that's a rumor of war right there, you know. Now you got this with Norway is getting full security protection from France and Great Britain and Germany now, just in case if they be under threat of their gas pipeline as well too, And in Mark 13:8, for nation shall rise against nation. That's what we're seeing right now. It could be nations rising up against different nations. It could be in many different categories, as I mentioned before, from an economical standpoint, a political standpoint, or just a regular war standpoint, or oil and gas productions type standpoint of war, direct verbally assaults towards one another. And it could be in many different categories. So that's what we're seeing, in these many different categories just like that I just named. That's why you're seeing these increase and upticks of wars and rumors of wars of these nations going against one another, in many different categories, from an economic standpoint, political standpoint, oil or money as well too, Bring it out again. This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 8. For nation shall rise against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? Because we are in the beginning stage process of these things are expected to increase more and more and more. Many different activities are going to take place on the planet Earth as well too, even more and more and more, you know. So hey, this is this is some news right here, As I mentioned before, Norway to receive help from UK, Germany, and France to boost security. Prime Minister says. So, this is news right here, It might be potential of deploying troops over there in Norway, As Norway, as I mentioned before, I did a sit-down lesson on it a couple of days ago. Norway deployed its troops over there already to protect and guard their gas pipeline in that region over there, because they are the leading gas oil production over there in Europe. I don't know if that's 100% true, but according to the reports as I was reading this news article, it was saying right here, I'm going to bring it out again. It says Norway, now Europe's large gas supplier and leading of global oil supplier, has over 90 oil and gas fields, most of which are connected to natural gas pipelines and stretching of 9,000 kilometers and 5,590 miles. So they on top of the list as being the top oil gas supplier, in that region over there. So they on high alert on that. So that's why they got extra security help and potentially deployed of troops over there. But I'm not for sure. It might be potentially. You never know. They always say never, but I mean, you never know. I'm just saying it out there. But as Norway got more extra security for UK, Germany, France to boost their security. As they are the top oil supplier as of right now. So with that, leave it as that. So hope this sit down lesson was edifying for In the News on October 1st, 2022, on this Saturday night at 10:01 p.m. Central Standard Time. As I brought out this news article, keeping updates on the news, what's going around in the world and stuff, because these are biblical prophecy signs. That's what we're seeing taking place on the planet Earth on an everyday basis. So with that, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakar Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. Shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and above.